There's more to this morning's guest than talking trash. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Bridal House of Charleston at 813 Main Street in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the Solid Waste Authority, and we're visiting with its executive director, Ricky Hardee.
Good morning.
Ricky.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thanks so much for coming in on the eve of the Republican presidential debates tomorrow night at the Convention Center right down the street. We're just a few blocks away. A lot happening here in town right now.
Big business in town.
Absolutely.
Put Myrtle Beach and Horry County on the national spotlight.
Well, that and so many other great things. And I think the Solid Waste Authority is a great example of that, at least statewide. Some of the cutting-edge things you all have been doing recently and some great things coming online. I think you
got some great things coming on. We're building a new material recycling facility, short MRF, M-R-F.
Right.
It's where all of the recyclables in the county will eventually end up. State-of-the-art equipment that we've researched over 4 years will be coming out of California.
Is that right?
In fact, it's being installed now. California is probably 15 years farther advanced in recycling technology than the Southeast. So we're bringing that equipment in. We'll are housing it in a LEED certified building.
Oh, great.
A green building, if you would. It'll be the first green MRF that we know of in the Southeast. So we're very proud of that, and the capabilities it's going to give, us to sort more things quicker, more efficiently, obviously, be a benefit to the citizens of the county.
You said the first LEED MRF in the Southeast,
as far as we know,
state, not in this part of the state,
that's
but
correct.
in the entire Southeast.
There is one in the state of Washington that we know of. But as far as we know, this will be the first in the Southeast. We're getting a lot of interest and calls from people in not only just in South Carolina, but North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, wanting to come down and visit. And it will have a educational office in it, sort of a multi-purpose room where you could hold meetings. It'll also have the capability of actually walking right by the equipment down the sort line. It'll have a deck, if you would, and you can actually walk out and see it being separated. Sure will.
When you say see it being separated, seeing the different things,
different products. At the new building, we can mechanically separate cardboard, mechanically separate newspapers.
Right.
We can also separate the office paper that's in it, junk mail, if you would. We can also take out all 7 types of plastic, the steel cans, the aluminum cans. So it's going to be quite a facility, about 56,000 square foot.
Is that right? How exciting! Well,
We're very excited.
A place we need to come visit. Yeah.
Well, we may need to do a show
on the road.
On the road.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So much has to happen. I'm trying to think what has enabled Horry County's Solid Waste Authority to be such a leader, not only in the state, but in the Southeast, and really, as you said, even though California is 15 years ahead of much of this part of the country, at the same time, we're taking their great ideas and making them better.
Sure. I think one thing that's the big thing is that Horry County Council created a Solid Waste Authority. We are governed by a 7-member board. It's a partnership between the League of Cities and the county. It has its own financial operations in-house. We have our own personnel. Our own board governs us. Obviously, I'm the executive director. So we're part of the county, but we're apart and separate from the county, if you would. And I think that's allowed us to make business decisions and sometimes leave the political side out of it. Not that politics is bad, it's the season, but we've been very successful in that area.
That's tremendous, Rick. Yeah. You had an involvement in recycling or in waste management or involvement in solid waste prior to becoming executive director?
Well, I've been at the company 9 years. My previous life was in the business you're in and was in the publishing business. I stayed in it for over 20 years.
Is that right? 20 years?
Yeah, bought and sold a number of papers, and decided it was time to look for a different career, and sold Dolores Scene, which my wife and I owned. We sold it to a local newspaper here in the county.
A couple, absolutely.
Actually,
another husband-wife operation.
Another husband-wife operation. And moved to the Solid Waste Authority.
That is tremendous, Ricky. That is tremendous. And had your involvement in buying and selling papers, had those been principally community or weekly newspapers or dailies as well?
No, they were small weeklies, involved in a paper at North Myrtle Beach, involved in a statewide farm publication.
Really?
Several specialty publications.
Right.
But, you know, a number of things that you do in the publishing business.
Oh,
I miss the publishing business. I miss the people. You get to know the businesses and people who you write about, and the community involvement. But just on a bigger scale at Horry County, you know, we interact with all the mayors and obviously the cities, because we're the authority, and we're their authority.
And the Solid Waste Authority is not only touching folks in Little River, but also down in the northern part of Murrells Inlet, up into Bucksport,
we serve
into Galloway's Ferry. There's not a part of the county y'all are not intimately involved in.
That's correct. We serve the entire county. We now have fully functional 23 convenience centers where citizens can bring not only their food waste, their MSW, but they can bring all of their recyclables, yard waste, their bulky items. They're strategically located across the county. If you go to our website, you can see a map of where the centers are at. We're building a new center in Carolina Forest at International Drive in Carolina Forest, near the new schools. It will be our largest center in space, a super center, if you will. Hope to have it online early spring. We worked very hard with Councilman Foxworth. He's been very patient.
Marion Foxworth is really dedicated to that area.
And so we're looking for a lot of business. There's already been a lot of interest. We're having calls, you know, when can I bring things? So, and it's quick, easy. It's very convenient. It's set up to take waste that you have at your home. They're open during times when people could come. We open at 7 in the morning and stay to 7 at night. So sometime during that 12-hour span, you know, people can throw it in the car or their truck and come by.
Ricky, we want to go through some of the steps of, let's say, recycling, and why does it really matter if we recycle? But of course, I did visit, just as you said, solidwasteauthority.org, saw the website, a tremendous website, and of course its connection to horrycounty.org, and it's a major, big website. And there I saw 2 upcoming dates, January 11th and January 14th. The 14th, I think, wrapping up grinding of the greens. And this Friday, the 11th, is the last day of potentially for someone to get out.
That's
Share
true.
with viewers the significance of those 2 days.
We have a very strong grinding of the greens program. We partner with Santee Cooper, have for a number of years. We collect the Christmas trees from the county at our centers, as well as certain points throughout the Grand Strand. The closest one being 10th Avenue. Simply take all of the decorations off your tree and bring it. And then we transfer it to the landfill, where we will grind it after the 14th. You can still bring it to those locations up to the 14th. We'll move them all to the landfill, and then we grind it.
Is there a cost for viewers to do that?
There's no cost. And when we grind the mulch, we give it back to the community. Excellent cedar, pine mulch. First come, first serve, and that date will be published. It's usually sometime during the 3rd week of January, but certainly before January is out. Last year, I think we recycled over 8,000 to 9,000 trees. My memory serves me right.
Is that right?
And it's a way of giving back. It also takes product out of the landfill. A landfill operates on space. If you divert product, then you have more space for MSW food waste, if you would. It can't go anywhere else.
You've said MSW a couple times.
Municipal solid waste.
Municipal solid waste, okay. And that's common vernacular there in the solid waste industry.
And the scholarships, we have a very strong educational program. As you know, we have a talking trash program in the schools in 4th grade, where we have competition between schools. We also have a number of scholarships. That I think January 11th is a date for a scholarship to be turned in. We do give away several of those.
$1,000 plus. That's
$1,000
for families who, for a student whose family.
If they're going into the environmental sciences in some area, we get them, and then we have an independent group that judges them, and the Solid Waste Authority funds up to $1,000. We believe it's important to give back to the community.
Oh, yeah.
I also think it's important to have kids who have an interest in environmental sciences.
Yes, and there are a lot of them, obviously, in the county.
Well, and that goes back to what our motto is protecting tomorrow's environment today. If we don't do something about it today, it may not be here tomorrow. So we're trying to educate as many young people as we can.
Right, and that is, you know, so oftentimes folks think, well, will it really matter? Does my recycling program, does my putting it out in blue bags on the side as opposed to just throwing it in the big blue trash can for the city to come by? And that's for viewers, let's say, here in the city of Myrtle Beach. Why should they actually take their Herald or take their Laura Scene or their Ori Independent or Sun News or otherwise? Why should they recycle it?
Well, it's the environmentally friendly thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Obviously, It can be reused again. If you believe in the 3 R's: recycle, reduce, reuse. Certainly that completes the loop. As you well know, most of the newsprint today is from recycled content. Cardboard is another item that's easily recycled. Aluminum cans we sell directly back to Anheuser-Busch. It takes a lot less energy to remanufacture a can than it does to take raw product. And when you're taking raw product, you're using the environment again. We don't need to do that if we can turn it back into something else. But back to my previous comment, when you take a pound of material out of the landfill and you reuse it for something else, that gives us another pound space in the landfill. Space is the only product that a landfill or an authority like us have to sell. We're very much like a newspaper. You sell space, we sell space.
Right.
And so that's the real key to the environment is how do you manage it?
Right. Let's see, if viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best way to learn more about the Solid Waste Authority? And do you ever set up tours so folks can come see what you've got?
A number of ways. You can visit our website. It's www.solidwasteauthority.org. .org. You can, if your kids is in school, you can certainly have the teacher arrange a school tour. If you belong to a civic group, you can give our education department a call.
Great.
We can arrange a tour for 3 to 50.
I think I saw that number was the 843-347-1651.
That is
Is
correct.
that the best number
That
for
is
viewers
correct.
who don't have internet access? Obviously, a lot of folks can just pick up the phone, 347-1651.
That's right, and ask for our education division. We have 2 excellent young ladies there. They'll be glad to work with you and schedule a time to come out. It's quite an interesting place to come to. We're one of the fortunate authorities in the state. We have all 5 disciplines of waste management. We have our composting facility permitted by SCD. We have a C&D facility, composting and demolition. If you were to tear this building down tomorrow, that would be C&D. Obviously, it is one of the safer of the waste streams. We have municipal solid waste, MSW, which is basically what we get from all of our restaurants and our tourists. As you know, we have plenty of tourists. Then we have our green power, where we actually take decomposing garbage and generate electricity. And we also have our new MRF, material recycling facility. So we handle
online in just a couple of months. Is there a MRF already?
There is a MRF now. It's at Jason Boulevard. There's quite a story about our MRF. We were on we were on 701, had a fire, and then we moved several places and ended up at Jason Boulevard. And we saved our money, and we're finally going to build a new facility. In fact, it's built on at the corner of Environmental Parkway and 3 R Drive. Imagine such an address.
Listen to that, yes.
So that ought to be easy to find. But it will be.
It will be right out there, right off of Highway 90.
Right on 90. It's about 3 miles from the landfill entrance. It's on land we own, and it'll be there. But we should be operational sometime March 1.
Now, will tours also be available at that facility?
They will. You could tour. You could actually tour the landfill facility, see our green power and all, and just go 3 miles and tour the material recovery facility. It will be a hands-on building.
Great. You mentioned, Ricky, also some authorities statewide. How many other counties of the other 45 counties in the state have, or are there many authorities? Not to put you on the spot.
No, we're the only authority in the state.
Is that right?
Most of the other landfills are operated by the government entity. But we were one of the only counties that in 1990 or 92 had the wisdom and the foresight to form an authority. Most of them are a division of Public Works.
Okay, so it's the Solid Waste Authority is about 15 years old?
Yeah, we started in April of 92.
92, so just celebrated 15 years a few months from 16
exactly
years
right.
now. That's tremendous.
Yes.
That's tremendous. Well, you know, when folks visit the website, they'll, right there on the front page, you'll see a beautiful shot, an aerial shot. I think you said they have a shot of that every couple of months or once a month or so.
We actually fly the landfill every month. It gives us a clear indication of how we're building the landfill. We can see how it's progressing.
Right.
And once a year we fly the landfill and we actually take dimensions of the landfill and we check our operational disposal efficiency.
Right.
Because that lets us know how much capacity we have used and versus how much we have left. And we compare the numbers from a GPS point of view to what we actually weigh in the scale house.
That's fascinating.
We weigh everything that goes into landfill.
This is very cutting edge, Ricky.
Well, we think so.
Yeah. We got about 8 or 9 minutes, and you know, as you think about that, was this a particularly special place to have? I mean, was this something that, or would there be multiple places in the county that a landfill could be located, or was this a particularly, I know you didn't start there right at the get-go, but at the same time...
well, the history behind the landfill on 90 actually started in the early 60s. It was a facility that Conway and Myrtle Beach had together, is my understanding, and then the county operated it, and then when the Solid Waste Management Act of 1991 came into play, counties had to make decisions on how they were going to handle their waste. Line Subtitle D facilities were coming into their own, and so it was already a landfill. The Solid Waste Authority bought more land. We actually own 847 acres where this facility sits. So
847 acres of that one location.
That one location.
3 miles away from the
we
roll-on MRF.
We own more land there, and I can touch on that. But I think we're there because we were there.
Yeah,
and when the act came into play, that's where we're at.
Sure.
It's it has capacity for 20+ years.
I was about to ask, you mean from here on?
Well, from here on.
Right.
Yeah, our planning window is roughly 10 years. Everything we do as staff is 10 years or farther out. There are other places in the county where you could put landfills. Obviously, county council would have to approve that.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean that's another subject that I won't get into. But you know, we're very excited about technology. We're working with Clemson University and a major equipment manufacturer, a worldwide equipment manufacturer, to hopefully bring a process of waste reduction to the Solid Waste Authority where you won't have to have landfills. We can actually we can actually degrade the waste and generate methane gas on demand. So we've been working on that for a number of years, and we've just recently reached an agreement with a major equipment manufacturer. And so I'm looking for.
That could be very exciting.
It could be very exciting. I'm looking for great things.
Put you out of a job, though, Ricky.
No, somebody will have to run the equipment. There'll always be waste. You can't recycle everything, even though our recycling rate is in the 33-34%, which is
very high.
Great.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
Considering the 14 million tourists we have, and the throw and go nature of our business, because people are here 3 or 4 days and they're gone. So we're very proud of our recycling rate. But
they don't mind leaving their waste here.
Yeah. And one thing, if I could mention, we also handle the property for a storm event, a natural disaster, hurricane, tornadoes, ice storm. We maintain approximately 400 acres of property in ready to bring the material from the affected area out to the authority and then process it when the sun comes up the next day, so to speak.
Separate from the 847.
Separate
from the MRF
and
location.
We manage that for the county and for all the citizens and all the cities.
That's tremendous.
If you're, when you're a tourist destination that we are, it's time to get back going as quick as you can, and just want to make sure that everybody understands.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And of course, folks, if they've got questions, they can always call the 347-1651 number. For our viewers in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, obviously they don't get the benefit of living in Horee and having something like the Solid Waste Authority. But of course, is there anything at all like this? I know you said there's not another authority in the area, but in the PD or southeastern North Carolina, Robeson, Scotland counties, is there anything?
Charleston County has a good operation,
Right.
not to pick on people. They have a good one. There's some good ones up in the Raleigh area. Wake County's good.
Sure.
But every county handles their waste in a little different way.
Different ways.
Public sector, private sector, some partnership. There's really no textbook method to handling it. It's what works for you.
When you mentioned that California is essentially 15 years ahead of, let's say, the Southeast, what are some of the best techniques that have y'all stolen some of their good ideas?
Well, actually,
I know you've talked about the MRF and that coming online.
Sure. Actually, what we did, we visited California twice. Actually, visited other material recovery facilities and looked at their equipment.
Right.
If you look on the bottles, it'll say 10-cent deposit in California, Maine. Recycling is mandatory in a number of places in the United States, just not here in South Carolina.
Right.
Where you find it mandatory, you will find equipment to handle it. If you have to recycle it, somebody's built the equipment to handle it. So we looked at a lot of facilities in Virginia, looked at a lot in Georgia, looked at a lot in California. So, as I said, it was a 4-year process.
Those sound like valuable trips.
Yes.
Being able to see them hands-on, not just hearing about them or looking at pictures, but seeing it hands-on. That's very important.
It's a big part of what we do.
We've just got a couple of minutes, Ricky. Let's just the steps of, is it a pretty easy instructional piece when you're talking to the folks on the tour out there? Obviously, you really encourage, I think you mentioned 7,000 students and others came out just in 2007 alone. But when they come out and they hear the story of, let's say they're, when the folks come to pick up their trash from me, let's say day before yesterday on Monday morning in the city of Myrtle Beach, and the city picks it up, how do they get it out to y'all's landfill?
The cities pick it up, whatever it is. All the recyclables basically are in one container. When it's picked up, it comes by truck will come to the new MRF in March.
Right.
It'll be dumped, and we have the technology to sort it there mechanically, so we can divide what's in the waste stream. At our convenience center, we use source separation.
Right.
Basically, we ask our residents to separate it there. That saves us energy and manpower when we get it back to the MRF.
Right.
It's easy to, recycling is easy. You basically have to separate your paper products and your bottle products and in your food waste.
Right.
It's basically 3 things. Anything works. You can pick up containers from Lowe's. I've seen people use cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
There's no right or tried method. It's just the fact that you have to have the want to do it.
Right.
You have to want to protect the environment.
Oh, yeah.
But once we get it, we can separate it from whatever form we get it in.
That's very important. So really, any way we do it, your folks will ultimately separate. I've seen a couple 2 doors over from me with multiple blue bags. What look like trash bags with aluminum and some.
They hold the recyclables.
That's wonderful. Someone talked to me recently about a bag, like the normal bag you'd have in the trash can in your house, that's much like those Listerine mints you can put in your mouth that would actually evaporate.
We have actually done some research with a major company at the landfill, and you basically can bring your groceries home. When you finish with the bag, you can put them in the kitchen sink, turn the hot water on and it dissolves, or if they're plastic beside the road, it'll dissolve when the dew and the sunlight hits it.
Wow.
They are biodegradable. They just go to nothing. So technology is going to make a change. It's going to make a change in the next years on the way we handle our product.
What aspect's been the most exciting for you, Ricky, in joining the Solid Waste Authority as executive director?
I think the thing that has been most rewarding to us is our ability to reach kids in the 4th grade. changing a person's habits is a long 10-year process. Our board committed to that when we started talking trash. Our fourth grader's 8 or 9. In 10 years, he's 18 or 19. He gets married. He can vote. He can do things. He sets up home, he or she. So we have gone about a very methodical process of changing our mindset as to how people handle product in Horry County. But to see kids that started in our first year, this is our 8th year, and they're in high school, and they come, they're well versed in what we do.
Right.
And we've also seen our recycling rates go up, so we know that we're affecting the community and the community's mindset as to how they handle waste.
That's tremendous. Those are
that's the
great
big
words,
thing.
Ricky. Thank you for
sir.
those.
Yes,
Absolutely. And Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Executive Director of the Solid Waste Authority, Ricky Hardee, coming up next. It's not just 3 letters, it's 7 letters, and it's also 7 numbers. Take the time to write this down, 347-1651. Those 7 numbers, very important, 347-1651. It's not just those 3 R's of recycle, reduce, and reuse, but also protecting tomorrow's environment today. PTET. Take the time to write that down, protecting tomorrow's environment today. These are very important. Significance of exactly what Ricky talked about, not only thinking about those 4th graders, but as a father and as a grandfather, thinking about the next generation and the generation after that, protecting tomorrow's environment today. That's an environment 50 years from now, and the Solid Waste Authority and all their dedicated board and staff out there making a difference, not only today, but for tomorrow and 50 years from now. Learn more about it, solidwasteauthority.org or 347-1651. Ricky Hardee.